San Antonio Spurs. I have them being the 13th seed and going. Wait a minute, I'm pulling up the document. 27-55 on the season. You might be thinking this is a little low for the Spurs. It's not the 2000s anymore, or 2010s. We are now witnessing the Spurs of the 2020s. And for the first time in over probably a really long time, the Spurs are a rebuilding team. They're probably not going to make the play-in this year, so probably their first time not making any sort of playoff thing. Actually, they didn't make it last year because they were in the bubble last year. So yes, second time in a while not making any sort of playoff contention thing. So that's gonna be, it's weird to see the Spurs not good. Of course you had the Kawhi days, the Tim Duncan days, you had all that time, but now we're back to the rebuilding stage. Of course they got rid of the obvious guy, DeMar DeRozan. They lost him to the Chicago Bulls. And then they also lost Rudy Gay. They lost LaMarcus Aldridge last year in the buyout market. So they've lost a few of their guys who made them competitive. And now their best player is DeJounte Murray. I'm hoping DeJounte Murray has a breakout year. By the way, I'm not saying DeJounte Murray is bad or anything. It's DeJounte Murray though. It's not DeMar DeRozan. It's not. So hopefully DeJounte Murray has a breakout year, or even Lonnie Walker, Keldon Johnson. Any of them could have a breakout year easily now that DeRozan's gone. It's time for somebody else to have the spotlight. So it's going to be interesting to see who takes the spotlight, who comes out and becomes a star. I don't think they're going to be very good. This is mainly the rebuilding year. I think that they should tank for a better pick than draft maybe Chet in the upcoming draft if they can get him. I'm seeing a lot of teams should draft Chet or Jalen Duren, one of those two guys, because anybody could get the first pick. The lottery is really random at sometimes, so you never know who's gonna get it. But yeah, honestly, I don't know. The Spurs are bad for the first time in a while. Their starting lineups are probably going to look something like DeJounte Murray, Derek White. They did trade. Who did they trade for again? They got Doug McDermott for easy. Who did they trade for? In that big trade, were they in that trade with Portland, Chicago? No, they weren't in that trade. No, wait. Were they in that trade? I'm forgetting, man. I don't think they were in the trade, the Larry Markkinen trade. But the Spurs, if they did get Larry Markkinen, that would be really nice, but they didn't. I really don't know what to say about the Spurs. Greg Popovich is still there for his 20-something year. They have DeJounte Murray, Derek White. I don't know I guess Lonnie Walker, Keldon Johnson, and Jakob Poeltl. It's a bit of a small ball lineup, but it could work, honestly. They could end up being a borderline, not really borderline. They could be like how the Raptors were this year. And yes, the Raptors encountered a lot of things like injuries, COVID, and all sorts of stuff like that. But they're gonna be the Cavs and the Spurs. I see them as teams not terrible, not bad enough to be like a bottom team in the conference, just bad though. They're just bad. So kind of like the place the Bulls have been in for the past few years. The Spurs are gonna be in that place, and they do have a draft pick that they can use to easily get somebody way better. But as for now, they're getting stuck. DeJounte he's the main topic, the main guy on this team. I'm hoping that he takes control, takes over, and has a breakout year. And now I'm remembering the other guys in this team. Thaddeus Young. That's who it was. He was in the lottery market and trade, right? They got Thaddeus Young and one other guy who I forgot. But Thaddeus Young. That's who it was. Thaddeus Young will probably start for them at power forward, and then Keldon Johnson at small forward, and Lonnie off the bench. Or maybe Lonnie as shooting guard and Derek White off the bench. But Thaddeus Young is on this team. That might get them a few extra wins. But then again, DeJounte carrying, Thaddeus carrying, and there's not many other teams that they would be better than right now. A few years ago, yeah, definitely they could be better than a lot of teams. But right now, the way the league is competitive and all, I don't think they're going to be as good as the other teams in the league. In the West, especially. Because there are a lot of good teams in the West. Because the West is the West. You don't really expect too little from the West. You expect a lot from the West. That's my point. And the Spurs are usually one of those top teams. But this year, they're not there. It's going to be weird to see the Spurs bad for a few years, but I think I'll get used to it after a while. They do have the rookie Josh Primo. They do have him, and he's probably going to be... He could be a good shooting guard for the team. And honestly, I don't know much about him, I'll be honest. But he's young, he has potential, and that's all I need to know. He could eventually be good in the future. But yeah, right now, really, the Spurs team, the goal for them is to tank. Their main guy's going to be DeJounte for the next few years. And I don't see them being really that good. So, my main point is tank. Spurs, just tank. Please. So, that's pretty much it. It's going to be weird to see the Spurs as a bad team, but I think I'll get used to it after a while. Maybe 2 or so years. Anyways, if you subscribe, share, comment down below any tips, tricks, or ideas you have in your channel. That'll be for me today. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.